ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930 present The Drive.
It is Thursday, April 3rd. Your drive begins now on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. I'm your host, Paul Swann. Our text line this hour brought to you by Clark's Pump and Shop. We do it every day at 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Coming up today on the program, we're going to hear from Marshall tennis coach John Mercer. It's been a couple of weeks since we've had Coach on. The Thundering Herd getting back at it this week. Pair of matches. Going to take on Georgia Southern Friday and then Coastal Carolina on Sunday. Thundering Herd ranked number 64 in the country. So we'll talk to John in just a few minutes. The Herd right now 15-4, 4-3 in Sun Belt play. Georgia Southern's 10-6, 2-3 in league play. Coastal Carolina's 10-6, 4-2 in league play. Very tough league we've come to find out over these last few years. So we'll talk to John in just a few minutes. He'll get us caught up on everything we need to know. But until then, we'll keep the text line open. I'll give you that number one more time. It's 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. We're getting closer to the start of baseball again at Jack Cook Field. Thundering Herd will take on number 13 Southern Miss. 3-game series starting tomorrow. Hopefully the weather's going to hold. If you're listening to the show live and you're not on the podcast, or you're local, you're in Huntington, you know what the weather is right now. It's pretty nasty out there. It's been all day long, just dreary. So if you're not in Huntington, it's pretty dreary outside. Hopefully the Herd can get some games in. And, of course, the Thundering Herd on the softball side, let's hope that they can get some games in as well, as the softball team is taking on Appalachian State. Going to be in Boone for a 3-game series, and that'll begin tomorrow as well. So Thundering Herd, one of the top teams in the Sun Belt standings. I'd like to see the Herd sweep. Win the series, yes, sweep would be even better. It's been tough to stay on top in this league. You've got several teams that are vying for that top spot right now. The Thundering Herd, though, among those teams, and still one of the top teams. Let's hope the Herd can win that series. So we talked to Coach Z a few days ago. You can catch that on our podcast. It's available. Go to our website. That's the best place to start. You can head over to WRVC.com. You can listen to the podcast. Or if you would, you can search it on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, just wherever you get your podcast, and you can subscribe that way, like it, free. I know the wording is different on every one of them. Whatever it is, hit that button. You can get the show delivered right to your device. And, of course, we're going to hear a little bit later on from Coach Tony Gibson. Spring game is about a week away, set for Saturday, April 12th at Jones C. Edwards Stadium. And we caught up with Coach Gibson yesterday. We're going to hear from him a little bit later on what his thoughts are about what he's seen so far and what we can look to seeing in the next week or so with the team before it wraps up the spring drills with the spring game. Baseball action yesterday. The Pirates, guess what? The Pirates going home tomorrow have a little bit of momentum on its side. Got the win against Tampa Bay yesterday. And so tomorrow, opening up a series against the New York Yankees, but won 4-2 yesterday. The Reds opening up a series tonight against Milwaukee. Lost to the Rangers 1-0 yesterday. And then the Padres got the better of the Guardians 5-2. Today is also an off day for Cleveland. And, of course, keeping it local just for a second in Cleveland. I don't know how many of you watched the game yesterday. It was an NBA showcase game between the Cleveland Cavaliers and the New York Knicks. The Cavs overcame a 15-point deficit to beat the Knicks 124-105. Donovan Mitchell led with 27 points. Jared Allen had 21 points and 8 rebounds. So Cavaliers still one of the odds-on favorites, I think. Without LeBron James, this is the best Cavaliers team I have seen in a long time. And I think they've got a legitimate shot at winning the East and heading to the NBA Finals. We still got a lot of basketball to play. And the other thing that we were keeping an eye on yesterday. Now, of course, this is self-serving for me because I was watching a little bit of the ice scores come in, and Alex Ovechkin's now so close to breaking Wayne Gretzky's record. And if you look at the metrics, he needs 2 more goals to tie Gretzky. And if he can get a goal in the next 2 games, he will have scored the same amount of goals as Wayne Gretzky in the same amount of games, leading me to entertain all conspiracy theories that we're living in simulation right now. That is just insane. So Alex Ovechkin is so close to breaking Wayne Gretzky's record. Gretzky, of course, still holds a majority of records that he did when he retired, and still in my mind the greatest of all time. But this is one of those records that lasted for over 30 years, about the same length of time that Gordie Howe's record lasted. So this should definitely inspire the next player coming up here in about 10, 15 years. We might see this record fall before 30 years is up. Let's not say it's going to stand the test of time just yet. So we might see this one, honestly, maybe last 10, 15 years. I don't know. The way these kids are coming up today, it's always fun to have record chases, and this is one of those great chases. And with the popularity of hockey as of late, it came at the right time. Speaking of NHL action, Columbus will play host to Colorado. That's coming up tonight at 7 o'clock. Looking forward to it. And NIT Finals tonight, 9 o'clock, going to be Chattanooga versus Cal Irvine. The NIT has registered a .0000001 with me in attention. It's just not the same. These postseason tournaments, the ones that come after the NCAA, are super diluted. The NIT, the college basketball crown, I think we've got too many of these tournaments here. And the field after the field of 64, technically 68, is just so watered down and thin. I'm not even excited. I used to actually be excited to kind of watch the next tournament as a diversion. You're looking to, hey, we're number 69. We won the NIT. You can't even say that now with this. But Chattanooga, one of those longtime foes of the Thundering Herd. Opportunity for the Chattanooga Moccasins, the Mocs. Remember the controversy when it was the Mocs, the moccasins, and the controversy there with the imagery. So now Chattanooga, it used to be just, for me, it's UT Chattanooga, and now it's just Chattanooga. But interesting to see that an old Southern Conference foe and the NIT. And then, of course, some good news for Marshall men's basketball. We all know that Dzane Mingo's coming back. Jalen Spear announcing he's going to be back as well. Wyatt Fricks put out there he's coming back. So transfer portal not devastating the Thundering Herd, and that's good news. So it was a good nucleus, good core, and hopefully this Thundering Herd team can build with the transfer portal. We'll see Coach Jackson coming back for another strong year for the Thundering Herd. We've got John Mercer coming up, head coach of the Marshall tennis team. We'll talk to him. We'll also hear a little bit later on from Coach Gibson, his thoughts about this week's round of practice and workout sessions at Marshall University. And we'll get your text in as well. Our text line this hour, brought to you by Clark's Pump and Shop, is 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. More coming up on today's edition of The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Stalwart Insurance is the name for insurance in the tri-state. They are committed to delivering tailored benefit solutions with thoughtful, strategic planning with valuable professional services. Stop by or call Stalwart Insurance for your homeowner's insurance needs. Stalwart Insurance is located right beside Kitty Queen Hardware on Route 10 in Barbersville. Call Stalwart Insurance anytime at 304-552-3883. That's 304-552-3883. Or visit them online at stalwartinsurance.com.
At Poca Valley Bank, a handshake can still mean the start of a great relationship. We've been greeting customers with a handshake since 1908. Why settle for less? If you're purchasing your first home or planning for your future, Poca Valley Bank is here to support you with personalized service and local expertise. They are your trusted advisors. Why settle for less when you can experience banking with a team that truly cares? Poca Valley Bank, where relationships matter. Visit PocaValleyBank.com. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Anyone can choose to make a difference. You can help people succeed, rebuild after disasters, protect the environment, or feed the hungry. Not only will you make a difference for others, but for yourself. You can earn money for college, learn career skills, and make friendships that last a lifetime. Make a difference. Choose your future. Choose AmeriCorps.
Brought to you by Volunteer West Virginia, the West Virginia Broadcasters Association, and this station.
Hey Tri-State, Frank's Place is where friends hang out with friends. Stop on by for happy hour from 4 to 6 p.m. and a lot of daily specials. It's that time of year for March basketball. Frank's has you covered from the Sun Belt to the SEC, NBA to the MLB. First responders, stop by Frank's Place and check out the specials they have for you. Frank's Place, located at the River Place Plaza, next to Fratelli's. Check them out on Facebook for weekly updates and specials. Frank's Place, your home away from home.
Psst, hey, can I share a secret? Collins Career Technical Center. It's the best kept secret in the Tri-State. Small class sizes, personalized attention, and hands-on learning with the latest equipment. And you know what? It's not just for high school students. Their adult programs can jumpstart any career. Many grads have job offers before they even finish. That's the magic of Collins Career Technical Center. Hey, head on over to collins-cc.edu and get signed up before everyone finds out about this.
Now is the time to add on a new bathroom or remodel your old one with the latest up-to-date bathroom fixtures from Mutual Wholesalers, 710 5th Street, Huntington. Come in today to Mutual Wholesalers' beautiful showroom and see how your new bathroom will look. Check out Acre by Max. Have a new bathroom this year. Mutual Wholesalers, locally owned and operated, 710 5th Street, Huntington. Call 304-525-9118.
This is The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Follow at Paul Swann on X for Marshall sports updates and more.
Our text line this hour is brought to you by Clark's Pump and Shop, and we do that at 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. We'll open that back up for you in just a few minutes, but first we want to talk to the head coach of the Marshall tennis team. It's been a few weeks since we've had Mr. John Mercer join us, and he's now with us on the program as the number 64 ranked Marshall University tennis team home against Georgia Southern on Friday and Coastal Carolina on Sunday. And the good news for you, John, is you don't have to worry about the weather. You're going to be inside.
That's what it's looking like. So we've been practicing our indoor game the last 2 days.
Is there that much difference between the indoor game and the outdoor game when it comes to tennis?
Yes, definitely.
And what are those differences?
Yeah, well, indoor plays a little quicker, a little cleaner. You aren't making adjustments for the wind. So, you got the wind and the cold, that you're dealing with. And usually there's a little transition. So, if you look at some of our results, some of that has to do a little bit with the going outside. I mean, first time outside and so on. So it's hard to pick it up right away. So, it takes a little time. I felt like last weekend at Arkansas State, we played really well outside. But that was kind of the first match I felt like we played pretty good.
You've been pretty strong in doubles as of late, including road wins. Those are always important. What's contributed to that success? I
think we do, a good job trying to game plan, having our style of what we do and what we want to do. and then really being committed to doing that. So, it has definitely helped, having JJ, as the assistant this year, bringing his doubles expertise, from his college days. And so that's been a big plus. And then we just have players who really buy into what we're doing. So, they've been great. They've been very coachable and, made some changes, what we're trying to do. And they've really enjoyed it. And actually, it's been really enjoyable to coach them. And, we're kind of on a roll and getting some good doubles wins lately.
What are some of those changes, just for maybe those that maybe haven't been able to follow you as closely?
So a lot more going forward in the court. When people are trying to hit like higher arcing balls, coming in, taking those out of the air, taking them as swing volleys, just really feeling, having the attitude of constantly applying pressure, minimizing space between your opponent and yourself, so that you're kind of pushing them back in the court. So a lot of it has to deal with court positioning and shot selection, which go hand in hand. And we've just gotten better and better at it. It's become more of a natural thing to do as the season's gone along. So I think feel like we're playing some of our best doubles this past weekend.
As a team, I know you have to be happy with the performance. Individually, anyone really starting to stand out to you more or have come a long way since we started this season?
Well, I think at the top of the lineup, JoJo and Emma have, really both taken off. Emma's playing really well. The best I think she's played, in her 4 years here. She's a senior this year. She's really doing well. Ash McGrain, same thing. She's really taken off, really using her strength. It's really coming together for her. And I think JoJo's kind of solidified a lot of the things in her game, like her serve and, forehands and so on. And, you just keep seeing them getting better and better. And, so, from my standpoint, I'm excited about the last 4 matches and going into the tournament because, I feel like we're getting better and better as we go up and down the line. Our freshmen, are getting settled in, although it's a long spring to walk in here in January and, try to do it. But, they're getting a better and better feel for it. So, I feel like we're still getting closer to peaking, getting to where we're capable of, which, could make the end of the year, really exciting.
John Mercer's with us, Marshall's tennis coach. Thundering Herd will take on Georgia Southern on Friday and Coastal Carolina on Sunday. Now you come in with that 15-4 record, 4-3 in league play. What's been the most difficult transition for you, or what's been different between out-of-conference play and then getting into what could be described as a really tough league, maybe even better than what we thought it would be?
Yeah, it is tough. I know at one point Georgia Southern was ranked 60 in the country. South Alabama, who we had a win over, was up around 50 at the time that we beat them. Old Dominion is the top 35. There's a couple other ones in there that have been pretty good as the year's gone along. Biggest transition, probably going, all of our preseason, all of our pre-conference, was indoors. And, right away we jumped into the conference and had to start playing outside. So, not to use it as an excuse, everybody's got to deal with it. Georgia Southern's got to come here and probably play indoors tomorrow. So, it's part of the fun of being in the conference and playing that conference schedule. You go to different places and you experience different things. Last weekend it was really windy at Arkansas State, which is always windy in Arkansas, right? You gotta deal with the conditions, and it's just different, playing surfaces and different conditions. And I thought we were going to be good enough to go there and do it. And unfortunately, we came away losing some close matches. But like I said, I think we're settling in, getting used to the outdoor play, and so when after this weekend, when we transition back to outdoors, we should be good.
What can you tell us about Georgia Southern, your first opponent on Friday?
Very good team. Like I said, at one point they were in the top 75, had some really good wins. Conference is tough. It's kind of cannibalizing itself. just because you had some other teams like Coastal Carolina who beat Georgia Southern at one point, but is also a very good team, but just didn't get the big win. Like a South Alabama, they had a big win over Yale, who was 25 at the time, and so that's what's made it tough. I mean, it's kind of like SEC football, right? You kind of got a lot of schools that are very good, very close. Some of them are picking up big wins, but then you got to go play that conference schedule, and any match on the road or even at home, it's going to be a battle. I mean, you're going to have to fight hard to win.
Is there anything that stands out about them? Anything that they do that's maybe unique or is going to give you a challenge? I know they're good, talented. Everyone's talented. Everyone's good. But
right.
Yeah, is there anything that they do that you've got to really be on your game for?
Kind of what I've learned, the 3 years that we've been in the conference now, is that you have a bunch of players that and coaches that their teams are what you kind of call in the tennis world grinders. They just make a lot of balls. They're good athletes. They run hard. They play hard, but they just make balls. They don't make errors. And, our deal is we kind of feel like we have the firepower to beat that style, but we got to have a grinder mentality at the same time and not let ourselves get frustrated and get into, going for too much too early. When we're in the right mindset, like we were against the Wake Forest or Indiana, South Alabama, this week against Arkansas State, we were in just a really good frame of mind, and we were willing to grind the points and wait for the right balls. And then, that's when the firepower takes over, and you can win matches. So, it's us just doing what we're staying within ourselves and doing what we need to do, but being willing to work hard enough to do it. And if we're willing to do that, we can beat anybody.
John Mercer is our guest. He's the head coach of the Marshall tennis team, taking on Georgia Southern first on Friday, and then you've got Coastal Carolina on Sunday. Bright and early, 10 a.m. You'll be ready to go, I'm sure. Bring the coffee, bring the caffeine, and let's just play some tennis. What can you tell us about Coastal Carolina? I know that they're tough as well, and it may be cliche to say that, but they have a outstanding player, and help me with her name, Anna Babion. She has been there. She has been dominant at number one, 10-1 record.
Yes. Yep. Yeah. JoJo's going to have her hands full. So, even Georgia Southern, their one player is good. So everyone's good at the top. So everyone's got a good player, and you just got to come ready to compete. JoJo can play at that level. She's proven it. It's kind of the same deal, just really good athlete who runs really well and makes a lot of balls. And so, you better be smart with what you do and, be conservative, but then at the same time, when you get your opportunities, go after it because that's what she's going to make you do. And if you can kind of put that together for 45 minutes or an hour, then hopefully, she'll come out of her game a little bit, and then you'll start to get a few more errors. But she fits the perfect bill of what the Sun Belt player is all about. Good athlete and makes a lot of balls, so you better be ready.
Just one of those situations where you look at Georgia Southern, go, this is the best roster we've faced yet in conference, and you look at Coastal Carolina, and then you say the same thing, this is the best roster we've faced, and that statement can be true almost any time you play a conference team.
There is probably about 7. Old Dominion is probably separated itself a little bit at this point. Besides that, there's probably about 7 that are all pretty close. Of course, we feel like we're the second best at this point behind Old Dominion, and we'd like to have another shot at Old Dominion because we feel like we can get there, and we do have the firepower to compete with them and eventually put it all together. But they're, after those, us and Old Dominion, the next 6, I mean, they're really dangerous. So just all, good teams up and down the lineup, and you're going to have to work hard and just, it sounds crazy, but, like I was saying, just all very similar styles and types of players. And really it's part of just the fact that it's a lot of outdoor tennis on slow courts. And, you start getting into this time of the year, the humidity starts picking up in the heat, and it gets even slower. So, that's kind of what you're dealing with. And, this is a big weekend for us. We can get to 6-3 in the conference and, be in a good shape to hopefully pick up 2 more wins going into the conference tournament. And, but like I said, it's going to be a battle. If we're ready to go and compete hard, then we should be good. So looking forward to it. It's a great challenge. It makes it fun. It makes it fun to compete and play against people that you got to work hard to win.
John Mercer's our guest, Marshall's tennis coach. The Thundering Herd in action this weekend. Georgia Southern Friday, 2 p.m., Brian Davis Fox Tennis Center. And then on Sunday, it will be also at the Brian Davis Fox Tennis Center. It'll be Marshall taking on Coastal Carolina. And that'll be a 10 a.m. start. Hopefully it will be let's hope that the weather, even though you're inside, let's just hope the weather is going to be all right. It's kind of dreary out there right now. I don't know where you're at, but it's I'm looking out the window. It's just not good. I want spring back.
Yeah. Yesterday was nice. A little windy, but it was nice. We'll take that.
I'll take that over what we got today any single day of the week. John Mercer, my guest, good friend of the program. How you feeling? I know we're getting close to the end of the hockey season. How you feeling? Are you even watching anymore now that Alex Ovechkin's about ready to be the greatest goal scorer of all time? Are you?
Yeah, that's a little sad. Having Ovi, getting the record, but he's deserved it. He's a pretty darn good player, so we'll give it to him. But I'm on the Pirate Baseball.
You sure about that?
Listening yesterday on the radio.
You were listening. Good for you. You got a win yesterday. So
that's right.
2 wins now. Congratulations.
I just need Skeens to pitch every game, and we'll be good. So I think he's got about 155 more in him. So.
I don't think so. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think so. You need 4 or 5 more Skeens, and you might have a shot.
Yeah, that could be true. So, but yeah, we'll see what they do here. A little bit of a slow start, but bring on those Yankees, right?
Yep. Coming up tomorrow, we'll have the game for you right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Are you usually in the car? Are you listening to it in the car, in the office? Where
usually listen in the car. Yeah,
okay.
Usually listen in the car. Yeah. So driving back from the indoor club or wherever. So, yep, I love it though. So. Appreciate you guys doing that. Make my life easy there.
That was for you, John. Nobody else. That was for you. Don't let our boss tell you it was for him. No, it was for you and you only, John.
All right. Thanks, boss.
Good talking to you. We'll talk to you soon. Good luck this weekend, and
thanks.
We'll get you back in here real soon.
Yep. We'll see you there, right, Paul?
Definitely. 10 a.m. 10 a.m. bright and early.
10 a.m. There you go.
Plenty
we'll bring
of coffee.
The donuts. All right.
Thanks, John. Appreciate you.
All right. Bye.
That's John Mercer, everyone. Always fun to have him on the show. And he is a devout Pittsburgh fan. Loves those Pirates, loves those Penguins, loves those Steelers. Everything else, he's green and white. Quick timeout. We come back. We're going to hear comments from Marshall football coach Tony Gibson, and we'll hear from you. Our text line is open. Brought to you by Clark's Pump and Shop. 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. This is The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
You've cut back on everything and you're still coming up short at the end of the month. Give your local State Farm agent a call for a free discount double check. They'll show you how something as simple as combining car and home policies can save you hundreds of dollars a year. Being there to help keep more of your money is why your local State Farm agent is here. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. In Huntington, Ray Crabtree, 304-736-8181. In Milton, Russ McRae, 304-743-9318. And in Lavallette, Jason Elkins, 304-529-7555.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers. T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it.
Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with Turbo Power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/choice55 to learn more. With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 new lines with autopay for well-qualified customers plus taxes, fees, and $35 per line connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Charger sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
Metro Community Federal Credit Union now brings you all the tech that big banks have, but still has that personal touch of a member-owned community credit union. Apple Pay? Got it. Digital wallet? Yep. Message pay by text, online loan payments, even chatting with a real person, not a bot. Open accounts, sign documents, and manage your money all online. It's the big bank tech you need from the local community-minded credit union you trust. Metro Community FCU. Visit metrocommunityfcu.com today.
Are you having heating trouble? We can fix it. At General Heating and Air Conditioning, a proud supplier of York heating and cooling products, that's what you're most likely to hear. Because our technicians are trained to repair, not to sell. We complete an average of 20 repair service calls per day, and over 90% get fixed without the need for a new furnace or air conditioner. So if you want friendly, fast, accurate, and affordable service and don't want pressure sales, then you want General Heating and Air Conditioning, a company you can trust since 1968.
Save big money on the last roof you'll ever need with steel roofing from Menards. Steel roofing has the best wind and hail resistance and may qualify for savings on your homeowner's insurance. Choose from 29 beautiful colors available in cut-to-your-length panels for fast installation. View our entire selection of steel roofing in-store or on Menards.com. Plus, check out our weekly flyer for other hot deals happening this week.
Save big money at Menards.
Okay, forest animals, today is a new day. Kids are coming to the forest, and it's up to us to make their visit a good one. Sparrow.
Yes?
Have you practiced the most popular bird songs for the year?
Of course.
Catchy. I like it. Okay, River.
Dude.
How's the temperature?
It's a refreshing 52 degrees, man. Perfect for a little riverside shoeless relaxation.
Ah, good. Owl, you here? Course. Who's asking? I am. Look, you know the drill. Sleep during the day, scare the kids at night. Perfect. I love my job. Oak Tree?
What's up?
Still in the same place I left you last year. That's what I like. Consistency.
Well, it's not like I'm going anywhere for the next couple hundred years.
I know. I love it. Turtle. Turtle.
He's not here yet, man.
He's late every morning. You'd think he would have learned by now to leave the night before our meetings. Okay. Squirrel. Has anybody seen Mr. Squirrel?
The forest has been preparing just for you. Visit a forest near you today. To learn more about cool things to do in the forest, visit discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Hi, Mom. Is Claire's birthday party today? Me again, Mom. Where did I put my history book? Hi. Sorry, forgot one last thing. Sometimes it's hard to concentrate. At school, I start looking out the window, and then I forget what I was supposed to be thinking about. I know it seems like I don't care, but I do. It's just difficult for me. Love you, Mom. Bye.
Join parents and experts at understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues to help your child thrive. Brought to you by understood.org and the Ad Council.
This is The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Miss an episode? Catch it anytime on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome back to this Thursday edition of The Drive. I'm your host, Paul Swann. Our text line this hour brought to you by Clark's Pump and Shop at 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. We're just a week and a couple days away from the annual spring game at Marshall University. It's going to be a little different than we've seen in years past. At least the first half, anyway, is going to be a full-fledged game. Second half might be a little bit more loose, but still great opportunity for Herd fans to get together if the weather holds. I'm hoping it will. Great opportunity to go out and tailgate, see what the Thundering Herd might look like coming up this fall. And that's where we begin. They had a scrimmage a few days ago. And so Coach was asked, what exactly did you find out about your team during that scrimmage. And here's what Coach had to say.
Yeah, I thought it was really good. Yeah, it went back and forth. It's what I wanted to see. Thursday, I was kind of frustrated offensively where we were at. And Friday, they came out and did some good things, put some drives together. So we're getting better, and that's all I could ask at this point. Guys are stepping up and doing some good things.
You think they heard his message? Hey, you guys have got to step up. So Coach seems to be a little bit happier about the performance of the offense, got some good back and forth. Now, the thing about scrimmages, you might perform well, but again, can you stack them together? We've heard coaches talk about stacking days, stacking wins, and that's a concept that we heard Coach Jackson talk about a lot, and we're kind of getting that feel as well from Coach Gibson, and he was actually happy with the momentum carryover from that scrimmage on Friday.
I'm really, really happy. Friday carried over into Tuesday. Tuesday carried into today. So I think these guys have a lot more juice, a lot more energy, and I think that comes with getting comfortable within our schemes. And so I've challenged them, and I think that they've accepted the challenge, and we stacked a couple good days together. So looking forward to scrimmage again on Friday.
And he's also happy with the energy level, and that's been a big concern for Coach. Stacking days together, stacking wins, having the offense go out there, be more competitive. And he's been pretty happy with the energy level so far.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And again, that goes along with guys play faster and have more confidence when they know what they're doing. So, where we started at back in March compared to where we're at right now are light years. So, excited about what we can do and how much better we can get over these next 3 or 4 practices we have left.
One question that was asked, and I'm not sure that I would have asked this question because it has to do with the depth chart. And I understand fans want to know, hey, who's the number one? Who's going to be the lead quarterback? Or, what's our starting lineup going to look like? And you're not going to know that. Even with the scrimmage coming up next week, you're not going to know truly who the ones are going to be this fall, who the twos are going to be this fall. But someone asked the question just about, hey, what's the depth chart going to look like? You're pretty good. You set on that. And Coach, with the correct response to that question.
We won't have a depth chart until August. So, we have another portal window coming up that we still have some holes to fill. And then see, our guys going to stick around and go through all that. So we won't set anything up on a depth chart until August.
Did you hear that? You heard what he said. Portal's going to open back up. Have some holes to fill. Will guys stick around? You cannot, in this day and age, set a depth chart. You don't even have a true idea of what your team is going to look like after spring ball until you get closer to August, because spring ball, while important, doesn't have the same impact for me as it used to. Roster would not be set, but you'd have a good idea of, okay, here's what the foundation of this team looks like. Here are the guys. And remember, we would go to spring games. We would go to watch the herd play all the time. And you see guys stand out. Wow, that guy's really standing out. He's having a game. And you don't hear from that person ever again. Or you might not see that person ever again. So I don't think the spring game is the right time to ask about the depth chart. You can't have a depth chart. And good or bad, the good news is if you've got holes to fill, then the portal opens up and you got an opportunity to go and fill those holes. The bad news is you might form some new holes because there might be guys that go, you know what? I'm not fitting in. I'm not getting it done. This isn't the right place for me. The offense doesn't fit me. The defense doesn't fit me. Coach listens to too much country music. I don't like that. I don't like the color green. Doesn't look good on me. Whatever the reason may be. The portal is going to open up and you're going to be able to fill holes, and then you might have some new holes. And we're going to have a new crop of players come in, and you're going to have to figure out where those players fit. So I don't think you have any idea of what a depth chart's going to look like until August. So that was the absolute correct answer from Coach. But Coach can talk about who he's been impressed with, at least so far.
I've really been impressed with Carlos Del Rio this week. I think he's having a really, really good week, doing some really good things. Cam Smith, one of our defensive backs, has had a tremendous spring ball, so really excited about him. And guys are, again, there's different guys that step up at different times. I'm really excited about our specialists. I don't know if you saw at the end, we kicked the field goal at the end. It was a 60-yarder, so Reese has got a really strong leg and excited where he's at.
Special teams, always important. That is Coach Gibson, his comments. We will hear from him one more time before the spring game. That is coming up next Saturday, April 12th, 3 o'clock. Looking forward to seeing you there. And, of course, I'm looking forward to hitting a couple of tailgates. I already got a couple of invitations to some tailgates. I'm looking forward to it. So I'll be on the West Lot checking out all of the cuisine that day. Looking forward to our usual get-together on the West Lot. Our text line this hour is brought to you by Clark's Pump and Shop. If you don't know the number, let me give it to you. It's 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. More coming up, including your text when we continue on this edition of The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Stalwart Insurance is the name for insurance in the tri-state. They are committed to delivering tailored benefit solutions with thoughtful, strategic planning with valuable professional services. Stop by or call Stalwart Insurance for your homeowner's insurance needs. Stalwart Insurance is located right beside Kenny Queen Hardware on Route 10 in Barbersville. Call Stalwart Insurance anytime at 304-552-3883. That's 304-552-3883. Or visit them online at stalwartinsurance.com.
I'm Nori, and when I was young, my mom opened our home to someone who needed a secure and safe place. She taught him what it was like to have someone care about you, having dinner at home or going out to eat together.
In West Virginia, families open their homes every year to adult family care.
Some folks need a little extra help, but everybody deserves a family.
Call the Department of Human Services and ask to speak to an adult family care home finder at 304-269-6820. Sponsored by the West Virginia Department of Human Services, the West Virginia Broadcasters Association, and this station. This project is supported by the Administration for Community Living, ACL, of the United States U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, HHS, as part of a financial assistance award totaling $1,227,345, with 100% funded by ACL HHS. The contents are those of the authors and do not necessarily represent the official views of, nor an endorsement by ACL HHS or the U.S. government.
Hey, pet parents. With Progressive's collision coverage, you get extra protection for your cat or dog, because there's nothing worse than seeing your pet hurt. Like when you see their face after accidentally stepping on their tail, and you say, "I'm so sorry, Mr. Pickles." But as you kiss his nose and rub his little belly welly, you know Mr. Pickles is thinking, "You betrayed me." Anywho, Progressive pays up to $1,000 in vet bills if your pet is injured in an auto accident. Learn more at Progressive.com and watch where you step. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Collision coverage subject to policy terms. Not available in all states.
Hey, Tri-State, Frank's Place is where friends hang out with friends. Stop on by for happy hour from 4 to 6 p.m. and a lot of daily specials. It's that time of year for March basketball. Frank's has you covered from the Sun Belt to the SEC, NBA to the MLB. First responders, stop by Frank's Place and check out the specials they have for you. Frank's Place, located at the River Place Plaza, next to Fratelli's. Check them out on Facebook for weekly updates and specials. Frank's Place, your home away from home.
Take a look under your bed. Find stuff under there? What about jobs? No? Now try your basement. There's a pair of overalls that overall you're not so into anymore. A perfectly good laptop that hasn't sat in your lap in months. And even more stuff, but still no jobs? Well, you really have both. See, stuff is defined as household articles considered as a group. Sometimes this stuff is no longer needed. Wait, no longer needed? That can't be right. Because remember those jobs you were looking for? Those are really needed, and they're the stuff inside your stuff. Even inside that winter coat that moved with you to Phoenix. Our job is to unlock those jobs, and it starts when you donate your stuff to your local Goodwill. Here's how we do it. When you donate to Goodwill, we sell your stuff to provide job training for people right here in your community. So just by teaming up with Goodwill, you help create jobs. And isn't that worth parting with the leftover keytar from your 80s cover band? Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs. Find your nearest donation center at goodwill.org. A message from Goodwill and the Ad Council.
Hey everybody, this is Josh Groban. After so many years on the stage, one of my favorite things about music is its ability to inspire and nourish the soul. That's why I'm proud to work with Feeding America, an organization that inspires hope for families in need and helps nourish the 16 million kids in this country struggling with hunger. Every year, billions of pounds of excess food go to waste, while 1 in 5 children may be left not knowing where their next meal is coming from, or if it's even coming at all. Thankfully, the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks collects surplus food and helps deliver it to kids in need across the country. But they can't do it alone. Join me in supporting Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're Feeding America.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Hi, this is Dave Wilson, host of Metro News Talkline, and you're listening to The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Welcome back to our Thursday edition of The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Our text line this hour for our final segment is brought to you by Clark's Pump and Shop at 304-396-TALK. 304-396-8255 for this Thursday. This is your final segment for the week. We have got baseball action coming up tomorrow. The Pirates are going to be in action taking on the Yankees, and we're going to have that. This is going to be opening day for Pittsburgh. Of course, Pirates already going through opening day ceremonies last week on the road, so now the home fans get to enjoy it. So we'll have it for you. I think 4:05 is going to be first pitch, unofficial, depending on what the ceremonies look like, and that's going to be right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. I know John Mercer will be listening, the head coach of the Marshall tennis team. He was with us earlier on the show. Huge Pittsburgh Pirates fan, so I know he'll be listening, and so I appreciate everyone that tunes in, and we'll have the show back with you on Monday. We're going to have a busy week as well because we've got Marshall baseball coming up this weekend. We have got the Saturday game, the Thundering Herd, taking on Southern Miss, and it's going to be part of our Saturday showcase of Marshall baseball. So we'll have that. We'll also have the Final Four Championship Mondays coming up. We'll have all those games right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Follow the social media accounts of Herd Baseball and Marshall Athletics. That's going to be the first place to find out, depending on what the weather might look like this weekend, if the schedule is going to change, if there's going to be any postponements, or if the games are going to be canceled. So keep an eye out on those social media accounts. But again, we'll have first and foremost the Marshall baseball game, and then we'll have the Final Four, and that's going to be here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Also, you can hear the Final Four, and that's going to be in its entirety on our sister station, Cat Sports 93.3 and 1340. So we're looking forward to all of that action this weekend. I'm hoping Duke wins. I know a couple people are picking Houston. I even saw one of those infographics, and I don't know who puts this stuff together. I don't know if it's accurate, but most of America is rooting for Houston. Is that true? I'm going to put together my very own unofficial tri-state infographic right now. Who you think's going to win the national championship game? Or who are you rooting for? That might be the better question. It might not be who you think's going to win, but who you're rooting for. You think even West Virginia was picked as one of those states rooting for Houston. You know, is that true? Is it because you don't like Duke? Is it because you don't like Auburn? Is that the reason? Is because you don't like Florida? I can't fathom that Florida wouldn't get a little bit more love or Duke wouldn't get a little bit more love. Auburn, though, I could see that. I could see Auburn being a major brand, but not a major national brand. Houston, though, underdog, that could be the reason why. Whatever the case may be, we're going to have those games for you. And that's coming up on Saturday and then Monday right here on ESPN 94.1 at AM 930. Texter writes in, Paul, I am rooting for Duke, just as you are. Appreciate that. Okay, there's one. I'll take that. Anybody going for Auburn? Anybody going for Florida? Texter just wrote in and said, I'm rooting for Florida. Can't stand Duke. All right, appreciate that as well. Yeah, I think that's the kind of reception that I was looking for. Rooting against Duke. Not sure if that's just because Duke's been successful or I'm living in a Kentucky stronghold. That could be it as well. And I would think that Kentucky would be, the state of Kentucky would be rooting for Florida more so than Houston. If you're going to go SEC, because this graphic that I saw, it had Houston picked as the team that people in SEC country were rooting for. I just don't believe that. I don't buy that. If you want to sell me on Houston in West Virginia, all right, I'll entertain that. But Kentucky, North Carolina's Duke. Florida, you got Florida there. Georgia, yeah, I'm thinking Florida as well. Texter just wrote in and said, beat Duke, beat Florida. Okay, I like that. So beat Duke, beat Florida. So does that mean you're rooting for Auburn or Houston or both? Probably both. Of course, my Final Four depends on Florida and Duke, and my championship aspirations, at least on the bracket, depends on Duke. No matter what happens, if Duke wins, I win. That's my logic here. Only because I want to win the office bracket. I've been close so many times. I have been in that top 3 so long. It's time that I win the office bracket. I kind of have to. It's my job. I do that around here. I'm supposedly the sports talk guy, so I need to at least show up in the conversation every year. And I'm there, but I want to win one. I haven't won one in a long time. So obviously, hoping Duke wins. I think most people, though, here would root against Duke only because of that Kentucky connection. So I'm thinking Florida. Maybe Florida is the logical team, at least in our immediate area. Whatever the case may be, we've got the games for you coming up. And that's going to be this weekend. Also, we're going to have Marshall baseball. Texter just wrote in and said Micah Hanlogden should have stayed at Marshall for 2 years. I agree with that. I was watching him in several of the tournament games this year, and I would have loved to have seen him play at Marshall, but he's at a better spot right now for him. He's on the cusp of playing in the national championship game. So good on him. It wasn't good for Marshall to see him go, but good on him, and I hope that kid – If I was going to root for an individual, I'd root for him. Absolutely deserving of everything he's gotten. Good kid as well. That's going to do it for this edition. Thanks for tuning in. I'll be back with you on Monday. Don't forget, we got baseball coming up tomorrow. The Reds are in action later tonight, and then tomorrow we've got the Pirates and we have got the Yankees. Reds opening up their series tonight against Milwaukee. Guardians are off today. But the Pirates off today, back tomorrow, taking on the Yankees. That's going to do it. Don't forget, if you missed anything on today's show, you can go back and listen on our podcast. It's available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. Special thanks tonight to John Mercer, Marshall's tennis coach, for joining us today on the show. Back with you on Monday. Until then, enjoy the rest of your week and your weekend.
Broadcasting from the Dave & Buster's studios. Eat, drink, play, and watch at Dave & Buster's in the Huntington Mall. ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. WRBC, W231BS Huntington.